Warning: this video might scare you. If you're easily frightened, it's best not to watch. Viewer discretion is advised.
Number 1. This video is from the YouTube channel Strange Days Diaries, where Aza, a solo female van lifer, shares her everyday life while living full-time in her cozy 1990s Chevy Astrovan named Spec. In this episode, what was supposed to be a relaxing day by the coast turned unexpectedly uncomfortable. After fueling up and grabbing a few essentials, Aza headed to one of her favorite coastal camping spots in California, a place she had visited many times before without any trouble. Her plan was simple: enjoy breakfast, soak up the sun, and unwind during her one day off that week. But something felt off. Earlier that morning, she had noticed a man in a blue car near a fast food drive-thru. At first, it didn't seem like anything unusual, but as she made her way to the campsite, she saw the same car trailing behind her.
To keep it real on this channel, and I don't know what just happened, but basically I just pulled into this spot. I love it, and as I pull up to this spot, I pass by a McDonald's. It's like, I don't know, a mile away from this spot is a McDonald's, or like 2 miles. As I'm driving by the McDonald's, I like made eye contact with somebody who was pulling out of the McDonald's. I didn't mean to, but I guess I did, and I saw him just like make eye contact with me and zoom behind me and follow me, and he followed me all the way up here. And this spot, there's like it's like hard to describe. Maybe I can, oh yeah, you can kind of see it. Okay, so over there, it's like a dead end kind of thing, like with a gate, and that's where I go up there and I turn around there so that I can park here. That's what I do every single time, and nobody else does that. And I do that, and he even follows me up there and around. And right now I parked and I saw him pull up to Spec, and then he just was staring at me, and I wasn't making eye contact, and then he just zoomed off. So I don't know what that was all about. It's obviously super creepy and I hated every second of it, but whatever, he's gone, and maybe he knew me. I don't know, it's just so weird and creepy.
While the man didn't approach her or say anything, his presence was unsettling. As someone used to traveling alone, Aza has a strong sense of awareness, and this situation triggered alarm bells. Things got even stranger when she realized he had returned and parked nearby again, staying there for an uncomfortably long time.
But this is the reality sometimes for me, and just people on the road. You're a lot more vulnerable, I guess. I don't know how else to put it, but I just get a bad vibe, man. And I was so looking forward to spending my day out here, and I think I still will. Like, I'm not going to let this totally affect me, but I'm just going to have to keep my wits about me.
Even as she tried to focus on her morning routine, cooking, tidying up, and relaxing, she kept noticing the blue car lingering in the background. It was always parked in view of her van, and the man inside didn't seem to be doing anything normal.
I noticed the guy in the blue car who I've been talking about this whole time get out and just stare at me. He walked around the car and all of that, and it totally unnerved me. And then before I know it, I see him just drive off. So I just watched that guy who I've been talking about this whole time in the blue car. I swear to God, he's been just sitting in, it turns out it was just one guy, not two guys. But like the whole time that I was making breakfast, doing my nails, all of that, I was like checking and just monitoring him and seeing what he was doing. And he never got out once. He always sat in the car and he always had his hand up. I swear to God, he had like, he was filming me or something. I'm not sure. It was.
Although nothing directly happened, the strange behavior was enough to ruin the peaceful vibe she'd hoped for. Eventually, she decided it wasn't worth the risk and left the area, choosing to trust her instincts.
When I got out and went to the back to get my stickers, I came back and I've been sitting in the cab for like a couple minutes. And right after I filmed that clip of me saying like what I'm going to do with the stickers and all of that, I shut my camera off and I looked up and I saw him like open his door, and he had been in the passenger seat, which I had seen already. That's why I thought there were two people, because I noticed somebody in the passenger seat like an hour ago.
The rest of the vlog returns to her usual calm activities: journaling, crafting, and enjoying the solitude. But the uneasy feeling from earlier sticks with her. For people who live life on the road, it's not always loud or obvious threats that create fear. Sometimes it's the quiet, the uncertainty, and the sense of being watched that's hardest to shake. Subscribe and help us reach 20,000 subscribers. We've decided to give away the Spirit Talker app to 10 subscribers once we hit our goal. Number 2. On a cold day in Alaska, Luke, the creator behind the YouTube channel Outdoor Boys, set off on another adventure. Known for his family-friendly camping and outdoor content, Luke often takes viewers along as he explores the wilderness with his kids. This time, he ventured deep into the snowy Alaskan backcountry with his 5-year-old son Jake for a winter camping trip.
Luke here at the Outdoor Boys YouTube channel, and me and my son Jake, we're taking my snow dog out into the wilderness of Alaska to go winter camping in a hammock hot tent. We're going to be eating some amazing food, having a great time, and trying not to get eaten by wolves.
They plan to spend the night in a hammock hot tent, cooking tasty food and enjoying the peacefulness of the wild. The day went smoothly. They set up camp, built a fire, and settled in. But as the sun disappeared and the forest darkened, that calm atmosphere shifted.
Work on it a bit. You hear that?
Out of nowhere, a chilling sound began to echo through the trees, long, haunting howls that grew louder by the second. It wasn't just one or two. A pack of wolves was nearby, and it sounded like they were closing in. In a place as remote as this, encounters like that can quickly turn serious. Fortunately, Luke remained calm. The wolves eventually moved on, and the night passed without any direct danger.
I used my inReach to send a message to my wife, let her know we didn't get eaten by wolves.
But the reality of how close they came to something far worse stayed with him. Moments like this show just how unpredictable nature can be, and how staying alert and composed can make all the difference. Number 3. On September 25th, 2017, a video was uploaded to the YouTube channel Mike National, one that still gives viewers chills to this day. The footage takes us deep into the dense forests of Dudley Town, Connecticut, a place some believe to be cursed, often dubbed the gateway to hell. Mike ventured in completely alone, intending only to explore. But what ended up finding him out there was far more unsettling than anything he expected.
Watch who's stalking who now. Who's stalking who now? Look at that. Do you see a person?
As the camera rolls, Mike moves through the thick underbrush. Everything is still, quiet, but in the distance, something shifts. A shadow, just barely visible, slipping behind trees every time he looks its way. It's quick, too quick, and it seems to be watching him.
Stalking who now? I got you now, motherfucker. I got you now, motherfucker. Look at this beautiful moss, by the way. Do you hear it? Look.
Trying to stay calm, Mike talks to the camera, pointing out moss on the rocks and commenting like nothing's wrong. But his voice starts to shake. The unease is impossible to hide. Something isn't right. He pauses, scanning his surroundings. No one's there, or so it seems.
Okay, ready? Tell me I'm crazy. Tell me I'm crazy.
He insists he's alone, says it over and over, like he's trying to convince himself. But behind him, that dark shape keeps moving, silent, deliberate, always keeping its distance. It becomes clear he might have walked into Dudley Town by himself, but he's not leaving the same way, because something out there is stalking him.
Tell me I'm crazy. Look at that. I'm by myself in Dudley. Look at that. Oh my God.
Number 4. Chelsea is no stranger to haunted places. Her YouTube adventures often take her to eerie, abandoned, and allegedly cursed locations, and this time, she heads into the depths of a century-old train tunnel, built way back in 1928. The tunnel has a dark history and is rumored to be haunted by the spirits of Confederate soldiers. Determined to explore it firsthand, Chelsea, along with her friend James, documents the entire experience.
This time we're at a haunted train tunnel. They actually built 2 tunnels. You'll see over here is another one. We can't access that one. That one was built in 1928. There's a lot of paranormal activity here. We researched this place. People have seen Confederate soldiers walking through this tunnel. So I'm really curious if we're going to see an apparition. How cool would that be? If you don't know who I am, I'm Chelsea Luna. I'm here with my best friend, James.
What's up, fam? Ninjas?
I'm going to put his link down below if you want to check out his channel. His videos are crazy awesome. All right, you guys, let's get into this adventure. Yeah.
Just without a light on it looks so...
Yeah, it's like we're in a cave. Like you can smell it. It smells mildewy.
So Chelsea, what were you saying that I guess they opened this up and so they built this for cars as well.
Yeah, so...
It's only one lane in here.
Yeah, so if two cars come in here and they get stuck, there should be a pocket here for the vehicle to pull into in the side of the wall. So I wanted to see if we could find that.
Definitely need to look in.
As they step inside, the air shifts. The tunnel is narrow, damp, and only wide enough for one car at a time. There's talk of flickering lights and strange energy, and they're clearly eager to catch something paranormal on camera. But things quickly take a turn.
Shh. Chelsea, what is that? What is that? What is that? What the frick is that? What the hell was that? What was that? There's a train going by there. We heard that noise, and it came from this way. And then right after that, as the train's going, this is all happening right before a train goes by. There has to be something with that, guys.
There has to be.
Like, we literally hear, I don't know what that was. God, that's loud.
That's the train going by? Holy crap, it's shaking the whole thing. When we heard that, yeah, when we heard the running, what if the guy was running from a train?
Out of nowhere, an odd noise echoes through the tunnel, followed by what sounds like running footsteps. They freeze. Then, almost in sync, a train passes overhead, shaking the entire structure. It's as if whatever they heard was reacting to the train, or maybe connected to it. Chelsea wonders aloud, what if the spirit they heard was someone who died running from a train? The idea is chilling. Moments later, they notice someone standing at the entrance of the tunnel.
I don't know. I think I'm gonna buy him some sage when we get out of here.
Old bugs or something?
Yeah. Oh, man.
What the hell was that? What the hell? Did you hear that?
Yes?
What was it?
Is that gate closed?
What gate?
The gate, the freaking gate's closed, James.
Oh,
Look.
those gates that were out there?
Yes.
No way. No freaking way.
Freaking crazy.
Myself? Wait a minute. Wait a freaking minute.
That is weird.
I'm up there anyways. Like,
Yeah.
At first, they brush it off. Probably another explorer. But then gates that were wide open suddenly slam shut on their own, right as another train passes by. The timing is too perfect.
dude, what is that?
Is that a car? Is that a train?
No. What in the world? Wait, are those just other people coming in, or is that something else? Okay, guys, there's a light on the other end of the tunnel. Maybe that's just, is it moving? Let me stop.
Why does it look so much like a train?
Why does it look like a train? Yeah, it does. That doesn't look like a regular light. It's getting so bright. What the frick is that?
Coming down.
Maybe somebody's driving. Wait, maybe.
James,
What the hell is that? Let's find a place to dip. We gotta find one of those spots.
that's what I'm saying.
What is that? Dude, what the frick is that?
Dude,
Oh.
A bright light appears deep inside the tunnel, far too large and steady to be a flashlight or bike light. It grows brighter, slowly advancing toward them. It even resembles a headlight from a train, but there are no tracks. No way a train could be there. They scramble to find a pocket in the wall for safety, convinced something is coming. Could it have been someone playing a prank? Maybe. Could it all have been staged? Possibly. But what if it wasn't? What if Chelsea and her team really came face to face with the infamous ghost train people have been talking about for years? Number 5. Fred Eicher and his group were cruising in a small boat, heading back to their campsite, when they spotted 3 adorable bear cubs playing along the riverbank. But anyone familiar with the wild knows, where there are cubs, there's almost always a protective mother nearby.
Come on. Let's go. Let's get out of here.
And unfortunately for them, she wasn't far at all. Without warning, the mama bear appears, and it quickly becomes clear that she's not happy to see them. The bear begins to charge toward the boat, closing the distance fast. But Fred doesn't panic. With sharp instincts, he quickly raises his firearm and fires a warning shot, just enough to scare the bear off without hurting it. It worked. The mother bear turns and retreats into the woods, and no one gets hurt. But in that heart-pounding moment, the group realized just how close they came to being in serious danger. Number 6. The YouTube channel True Adventure, known for its deep forest expeditions across Indonesia, usually focuses on tough survival scenarios, like riverside camping, fishing, and braving heavy tropical storms. But one of their overnight trips turned into something much darker when they unknowingly set up camp beneath what locals call a haunted tree. At first, everything seemed normal. After a tough hike through dense jungle, they reached a calm lakeside spot and began setting up. They got a fire going, cooked some food, and settled in for the night. But as the last light faded, the mood of the forest shifted. Strange noises began just beyond the trees. At first, it sounded like an animal or wind rustling through leaves, but soon the sounds became more precise. And then a pale figure briefly darted past the camp.
Astagfirullahaladzim! Astagfirullahaladzim! Apa itu? Astagfirullahaladzim! Itu aku nampak apa tadi tu? Astagfirullahaladzim! Serius? Tengok sini merinding. Nah, abang tadi. Sini aku nampak tadi nah. Serius lah. Serius. Ini gemetar jantung gua. Apa tu? Ini memang agak apa nih? Apa tuh bunyi tadi tu? Tengok orang merinding dulu gua. Tengok merinding. Tengok. Diam. Apa tu? Merinding. Tengok, pemirsa. Coba merinding semua dia. Asli aku pun nampak juga tadi, entah apa dah tadi. Aku jangan tengok langsung merinding ah. Aduh. Tunggu ya, coba kita tengok dia. Aku penasaran aku.
It was so fast they questioned if they had even seen it, but their instincts screamed that something was wrong. As the night wore on, whatever was out there didn't leave. It kept circling, slow and deliberate, as if watching. At one point, another white figure glided past their tent. Frozen in fear, the pair didn't dare move. The rain-slicked terrain and total darkness made escape too dangerous. They stayed locked in place, wide-eyed and trembling, hoping morning would come quickly. No creature ever emerged. No attack followed. But the dread, that stayed. By daylight, whatever had visited them was gone, leaving no tracks. Just the memory of a terrifying night and a lingering feeling they weren't truly alone. The video quickly became one of their most talked about uploads, with many viewers pointing to local legends that suggest they may have encountered something not of this world. Number 7. In this next clip, a young woman was out enjoying what was supposed to be a relaxing solo camping trip. She was casually filming herself, lip-syncing to a song, totally unaware that danger was creeping up behind her. Mid-recording, something shocking happened. A man suddenly appeared in the background. The moment he noticed the camera, he paused, clearly caught off guard, then awkwardly turned around and vanished back into the trees. It's hard to say what his intentions were, but the way he froze suggests he hadn't expected to be seen. Thankfully, the camera was rolling. It may have been the only thing that stopped something much worse from happening. Out in the wilderness, it's easy to feel alone, but sometimes you're not. You never really know who or what might be watching from just beyond the tree line. Number 8, Franco, a YouTuber known for exploring some of the most remote and dangerous places in the world, took his viewers on a chilling journey into the mountains of Peru in August 2024. His goal was to document a forgotten cemetery, a place with a dark reputation, scarred by poverty, history, and the haunting aftermath of natural disasters. Reaching the area wasn't easy. Franco had to navigate through buses and taxis to arrive in a small rundown town where the impact of poverty was immediately visible. Locals warned him about the dangers, and his presence attracted unwanted attention, making him cautious about filming in public. As he finally arrived at the cemetery, the scale of devastation was staggering. Earthquakes had shattered tombs and exposed graves, but what Franco saw went far beyond natural destruction.
This place. All right, I'm gonna actually start from right and then kind of work my way in.
The cemetery was eerily silent, filled with desecrated graves, scattered bones, and signs of human interference. Open caskets, disturbed remains, and broken burial sites were everywhere. One of the most disturbing moments came when Franco discovered the remains of infants.
Here. That one's sticking out. See the arm? I'm gonna go ahead and zoom. But you could see the arm sticking out. Like he was trying to come out or something. Oh, that's terrifying.
Tiny skeletons, some still clothed, many clearly tampered with. He also came across what looked like a mummified child, partially intact, yet clearly violated. As he moved deeper into the site, he noticed skulls with missing jaws, suggesting grave robbers may have targeted the bodies for valuables like gold teeth. Evidence of rituals was also present.
Completely desecrated. And you can see they were poking around with a stick. I think they were stealing from tombs. Look at this. Oh my God. I don't even know what the hell I'm looking at. I think those are feet. Here. Oh my God. They took the head.
Symbols carved into gravestones, melted candle wax, and even clumps of hair left behind. While Franco acknowledged that spiritual practices vary across cultures, the level of destruction left him unsettled. The entire place felt abandoned by time, like something out of a dystopian film. With crude gravestones and exposed remains scattered across dusty, barren ground, the cemetery reflected both neglect and desperation. Franco admitted there was little he could do to change the reality there, but he felt compelled to document what he saw, to share with the world a glimpse into a forgotten place and the haunting stories buried within it. Number 9. This next clip comes from the channel Exploring with Josh, where Josh takes his viewers deep into eerie, abandoned places all over the world. In this video, he and his team take on one of their most intense urban explorations yet, an enormous, decaying vacation resort in Florida, just a stone's throw from Disney World. Once a glamorous hotspot known as the Orlando Sun Resort, formerly the Hyatt Orlando, this hotel used to welcome guests from all over, with over 900 rooms, restaurants, pools, and everything a top-tier resort had to offer. But years of financial struggles, ownership changes, and declining tourism sealed its fate. And what's left now is a haunting shell of what once was: crumbling walls, shattered windows, piles of graffiti, and even darker rumors.
Is just like, I've never seen anything like this. Holy crap, that is insane. Dropping legit nukes. There's a baby cradle or just over there. A playpen. How did the walls get knocked down?
Yeah, you don't even see the rubble. So that's kind of weird.
Yeah, that's true. Someone made some makeshift tables out here. Some of them still have the TVs in them over here. Look at this. Let's get over there.
So should the people just come in here and...
Yeah, he's coming in with his little dump truck.
Let's find out what he's doing. They won't care we're here, right?
Nah. Look at this place.
Nobody.
I mean, look at this. Someone's dumping their tires. Probably a company. They didn't want to pay to dispose them, so they dumped them here. It's totally illegal. I guess this is where people practice their graffiti to get good. This looks, somehow that's still stayed up. And that's the souvenir spot. You can still make out those.
Josh and his team were well aware of the dangers, from unstable structures to the possibility of running into people using the space to live. Still, curiosity pulled them in.
Does this have to do with our area? Yeah, this is the marketplace. Look at that. They're even showing how you can get tickets for here. The Sunset Grill, the Breeze Bar, the marketplace. I think this is for this one.
Oh, really?
I'm not sure, but I don't even know if this was a door or just a window, but it looks like we can just leave right from it. Look at that little walkway for us. Check all that. This was the loading dock, I think. They did deliveries down there.
How many people are living in here still right now? A lot, right? Yeah. Usually towards the back, right?
Everywhere, front, back, they just be around.
And just chilling. They don't bother you?
Nah, they don't bother anybody. They just keep themselves on.
That's cool. God.
Whoa. What do you do?
Oh, I got scared. I thought there was a lizard crawling on me, dude. It was this.
Someone's got dogs.
That's fine.
Make your chain.
Here.
But check out the other.
I want to interview them, but they're not. The dogs are not chained. You know they're not chained because the girl's like, "Get your asses over here now," talking about the dogs.
As they wandered the ghostly halls, they found baby cribs, TVs still stuck in old cabinets, graffiti-covered souvenirs, and evidence of illegal dumping. It was surreal, like a time capsule left to rot.
That's the first time I've seen that. His tire's not even on. There's no tire. Completely empty. Almost looks like a film studio. Back then, they didn't have, LCD TVs or flat screen. We're just using the big old fat ones. It's really hard to kind of walk in some of the rooms because they're completely gutted or destroyed and toppled all over with everything in it. This guy is driving in here, and I don't know what he's doing. He just drove right in through all the rubble. I gotta ask him. They were talking to him. Yo, what did that guy want?
First he goes, "What are you guys doing?" I go, "We're just filming." And he's like, "Oh, I'm just looking around. I got yelled at back there." That was it.
That was it?
Just a guy looking around.
Dude, that's crazy. He drove his whole car through this. I would have been scared to pop my tire. Guys, right now, there is people with a U-Haul truck and their dog loading up stuff from this property as we speak. Look at this. I'm zooming right in on them with the drone flying over there. I shouldn't be doing this. We're not going to go over there, though, but oh my God. I can't believe this.
But what started as a wild visual exploration quickly took a turn. They encountered people, not tourists, but individuals possibly squatting in the building or using it for illegal activity. There were dogs roaming around, old shopping carts lined up like parked cars, and even a full-blown camp inside the resort. One man seemed friendly enough, but tension grew when a U-Haul truck pulled in, and others began loading up items from the property, possibly looting. Josh flew a drone overhead and captured footage of the area, but that decision may have drawn too much attention.
I think maybe he's helping that guy. I'm not sure. Oh my God. All right, yo. So from your perspective, what happened?
Yeah, that dog would have probably attacked us, but I made the right choice. I know a lot about dogs, and I said just to keep looking at it, don't turn your back on it. Because when we turned our back on it, it was literally trying to like go behind Adam and like...
Oh shit, they're coming. They're coming. Yeah, those are the guys with the dogs. All right, yeah, let's get the out of here.
Moments later, the group noticed two men from earlier approaching, one of them with a dog off leash. What followed was a slow-building sense of panic that exploded into chaos. Suddenly, the man with the dog was joined by another wearing a balaclava and carrying a machete. That's when it stopped being an exploration and turned into survival.
Fuck. All right. Can't believe we're doing this. Maybe we should go through the woods and say, fuck it, through the active side. Well, either way, none of us have a drone, technically. All right, we can cut through left and just go left. All right, we'll cut right out of here. All right, we're almost out of here. Safe side. Although, Adam did say the guy died right out from the entrance. I don't see him. But yeah, the two people with the dog, I don't know if I showed it really quick or not, but it was right where the guy at the white car. All right, so this person. Yeah, we're fine now. I don't know. It's just they could be anywhere right there where they were walking. So we have to be careful about anything over there. Hang on. They're after us. That we're getting out of here. Sorry. Fuck. The two guys are on the other side with the dog. I wanted to interview her. I had money. Yeah, actually, if you want to come to us, just out of here. I want to interview you if I can. Hang on. Yeah, because so. Oh.
No, we're out of here, man.
All right. Oh, they're coming over here, huh? Oh, fuck. All right, never mind. If she comes, I want to interview her, ask her about the spot, but this is getting too. Oh shit, they're running here. They're running, bro.
The group made a run for it, darting through overgrown paths, crumbling hallways and back out towards safety, with their pursuers not far behind. You can hear their breathing grow heavier and the fear settle in as they realize just how serious things had gotten.
After us. We're running. This ain't no joke, actually. This actually ain't a joke. We can't. Until we're out of here.
This wasn't a haunted house attraction. It was real. In the end, they made it out. Shaken, exhausted, but safe. Number 10, meet the man behind the YouTube channel, Nowhere Bound, a solo adventurer who, along with his loyal dog Juniper, loves discovering peaceful and scenic locations to camp and unwind. His content usually reflects the calming side of nature, but on one particular night, things took a turn that even he didn't expect. The trip started off like any other. After setting up camp, he took a walk around the area with Juniper, pointing out signs that the spot was part of a floodplain. Everything seemed calm, but as the sun dipped below the horizon, the atmosphere shifted.
And you could kind of tell that it is a flood area. I mean, when the stream is high, all this debris is piling up on the trees.
He realized they were camped directly across from an eerie, weathered building, one that gave off an oddly intimidating presence. Adding to the unease, a nearby group of campers had suddenly vanished, leaving their tent and belongings behind without a word.
It's getting very dark, as you can see. I'm camping right across the street from that building. The people who were camping just left, but their tent and everything is still set up down there, so I don't know what's going on with them. They may return.
Their gear was still there, but they were gone. As night fell, strange sounds began echoing through the woods. Unfamiliar animal calls, persistent whippoorwills, and an unsettling silence between it all.
Gotta be honest, I'm a little creeped out right now. And this is the first time this has ever happened to me camping. I don't know if it's the building or the quiet or that Juniper is just restless. Once in a while I hear strange animal noises that I've never heard before. I think they're frogs. There's multiple whippoorwills, and I don't hear whippoorwills very often.
Juniper grew restless, pacing and alert. Even the campfire wouldn't cooperate, refusing to catch properly. That creeping sense of dread started to settle in. Normally, he's unfazed by the woods at night, but this time he admitted feeling genuinely creeped out.
So, I think I'm just going to have a snack and call it a night. And I usually don't get creeped out. But we're going to just get in the camper, hunker down, try to get Juniper to settle down. Would you camp right across from a building like this?
With the odd building looming across the way and the other campers mysteriously missing, he decided to skip dinner, retreat into his camper, and hunker down with Juniper. Inside, he questioned whether anyone would feel comfortable sleeping just feet away from such a building. He joked that it looked like the kind of place haunted by a poltergeist, and while he tried to laugh it off with a movie, sleep didn't come easy.
A new thing for me. I've never had creepy, weird feelings at a camp before, and I'm sure it's just my mind playing tricks on me. But it definitely looks like the kind of building that could have a poltergeist in it. Well, it's been kind of a rough morning. Besides the lack of sleep and the...
Number 11. Leslie Mansfield is known for her solo camping trips, often taking viewers along as she hikes deep into remote forests to escape into nature. But on this particular outing, what started as another peaceful night under the stars quickly turned unsettling. She arrived at a secluded woodland area just before nightfall. After parking her vehicle, She grabbed her gear and began trekking through the forest, flashlight in hand, searching for a quiet place to set up camp.
It's a nice area and all. Okay, what I'll do, I'm not supposed to be on here, so I'll bring you back when I am somewhere where I'm allowed. Oh, that's good. I'm out of that bit now that I'm not allowed. I'm going up the track here. Oh, all my bigger torch is in the rucksack. So let me see if I can show you. Oh well. The faintest, tiniest red glow from the sunset half an hour ago.
Eventually, she found a clearing that felt perfect, calm, still, and far from any signs of civilization. But not long after settling in, she noticed something strange, a light moving in the distance.
I don't know if you can see that, but there's somebody walking down the bottom of the valley there with a torch. I'm sure they're fine and innocent, but I've turned all my lights off until they've walked by. That person with the torch going along, I was about to set the camera up, and I was about to say, oh, I'm on a hilltop and I can see they're about to leave the valley, so that's good. But they didn't. They came back and sort of towards the tent, and I just thought, oh shit, oh shit.
At first, she assumed it was just someone passing by, but as the figure got closer, unease started to creep in. The person didn't just pass, he began walking directly toward her camp. Leslie immediately turned off her lights and hid in the darkness, heart pounding. The figure lingered, scanning the area with a flashlight, before finally disappearing into the trees.
In the trees to make sure they went, because I also wanted to check what they were doing rather than just, me leaving. And eventually they left. I don't know, I was spooked by then. So I found a different spot. I'll show you this spot, just about 10 minutes around the corner, but it's a different valley, so what's the chances they're not going to come back? Hello. Oh. The ground is so bumpy. Well, what to do? I'm 10 minutes away, but I feel safe because it's just a different tucked away corner. I'm just looking down on the ridgeway. I don't know, I didn't want to give up. I didn't want to go back to the car and give up. I know that everyone says, oh, follow your instincts and do that. When I saw this, I thought, no, I'm going to be here, at least for the evening. I think it's so rough and bumpy here, I'm not sure I can sleep.
Spooked but thinking clearly, Leslie grabbed her gear and relocated to a different valley about 10 minutes away, hoping that would be enough to avoid any further encounters. Still on edge, she tried to enjoy a small meal and even joked about having a reassuringly sharp cheese knife for safety. But the unsettling feeling wouldn't go away.
So I've had a glass of wine and some slices of cheese and apple. So I'm still a little bit spooked. I don't think I'll be able to stay, but I do have a reassuringly sharp cheese knife. Ridgeway, nearly back to safety. It's 7:45 now, I'm back at the car. So I went to a spot I've only been to once before, and it's lovely, it's up on a little hill. But that torch in the valley, normally if you see that, they just go along and they're gone. But he was like looking around, and the torch, shining across trees, and seemed to swing back to where, I was. I was just so spooked.
Eventually, she chose to end the trip early and return to her car. Sometimes it's not about how brave you are, it's about knowing when something doesn't feel right.